If you don't want something to write home about, and your standards for action RPGs are pretty low, let me introduce Bound by Flame to you. It controls pretty well, and the gameplay can vary enough to keep it interesting, and you're going to need the options, decent controls, and a well-built character if you're going to make it to the end. Oh, and cheating. Cheese the enemies and bosses as hard as you can, because this game has no qualms with doing it to you. In Bound by Flame, you play as a male or female created character with little customization options. You don't pick a class, but use your points varyingly across the 3 skill trees depending on your method of play. I didn't end up maxing out any of the trees by the end of the game because I felt that I needed a little of everything for the situations thrown at me. Also, I wanted the kill trophies. You can freely switch between sword, daggers, and magic during a fight, and you will need to if you want to come out of enemy encounters alive. You will also have a choice of partners most of the time, each with their own special abilities, but they're sort of dumb, so you'll want to set them to defensive mode and just use them as a distraction. Now, because this was 2014 and anything that looks like Dark Souls has to be as hard as Dark Souls, you're going to get super frustrated if you can't get your timing down pat. But unlike overrated action RPGs, this one will take you to just before the fight you died most of the time to give it another go, so it's at least forgiving. When I started the game on easy difficulty, I died on the first boss like 8 times and the opening combat tutorial about 5, but I'm also an idiot, so maybe you're up to the challenge. The weapon customization and crafting is pretty simple and incredibly useful. Your weapon accessories can make the difference in battle. Even that +1 will make a considerable difference, and keep up on your armor because you do not have stats to level up, including your HP. Instead, you get points to spend in the skill tree and passive abilities. So far, I've given this game little credit, but it does do some pretty interesting things. Like most modern RPGs, you can pick good or evil options in your dialogue. This does more than change your appearance, though. You'll receive positive and negative effects as you progress. For example, I became so evil that I could no longer wear helmets because my horns didn't fit under them. And eventually, your armor will appear to have broken open for your body flames to poke out through your shoulder. And speaking of dialogue, the game does boast some pretty interesting characters and plot, but just some. Of course, there's also romance options, but it's a little tricky to pull off because there's no way to gauge progress and some missable quests are required. Also, there's no same-sex romances, so if you're like me and was hoping for a sweet lesbian scene between the lead character and the busty ice witch, you're shit out of luck. It's as if the developer, Spiders, hasn't been on the internet lately. If it encompasses space in any way, people are attracted to it. They have a Tumblr account, so there's no way they aren't aware of this. I streamed this game on my personal Twitch channel. If you'd like to watch me beat it and get about as angry as possible, check out that clip video on my channel. If you'd like to know when and where I stream, like the Facebook page for timely updates.
I came down here to be Look for mushrooms and kick somebody's ass.